One of the first things, and often the most difficult, is collecting good quality oil. The first thing you need for this is a reasonable tank for storage. Here I've got an IBC container. This is an ex-chemical plant container. They're often available on eBay or on the internet for around £30. This is excellent because it enables you to store the oil in a large container, allowing it to settle. Before you manage to fill this, you'll come under the challenge of trying to source some waste vegetable oil. This can be extremely difficult, and I don't recommend trying to phone around restaurants asking for oil, as this yields very little results. The best approach into doing this is to either visit the restaurant that you locally eat at, or maybe you have some friends who locally eat at a restaurant, and when around eating a meal, ask them and speak to the chef or manager, and they're going to be much more obliged to speak to you and possibly take note that you may be interested in having some of their oil. When you do this, make sure you follow up the action and be persistent. It can often take a while to finally get through to the person who deals with the waste oil that you're interested in having some of the oil. It's best to offer around 10 or up to even 20p a litre for the oil to ensure that you get a good supply of oil.
Talk you through the actual reactor that I've built myself. This one would cost probably in the region of about £400, maybe a bit less for someone to build, and it's very basic. I'm not a plumber. I taught myself to solder with the pipes, and it's actually quite easy to do without any leaks at all. Okay, so what I've basically got is two containers. Okay. Roughly the same sort of size. This one's obviously bigger than this one, but it generally doesn't matter. This one is when you're making the process, will actually have to hold more because you've got your methanol in it plus your oil, and this one only ever holds just your oil. So it doesn't really matter if they're the same size. Okay, so I've got my two two tubs. This one has basically got nothing in it. There's no heater in it. It's just an empty tub. On this side, this one has a normal immersion heater, 3 kilowatt immersion heater, bought from any hardware outlet. And I've also got a central heating pump, which is down here, obviously at the lowest point, because that way I don't have to prime it. It just primes itself. It's at the lowest point. I'm going to put the lid on and mix this up, which I do by kicking it around the garage. The seal, so we're not going to lose any. There's no real danger at this stage, I don't think so. So put the lid on, kick it round, and make sure it's all well dissolved in the methanol. And you'll notice when that happens, it does get warm as it dissolves into it. You want to get it so it's completely dissolved, so you can hold up the light and see no powder in it at all. Okay, so I've been kicking my mixture, my methanol and caustic soda mixture around the garage for about 3 or 4 minutes, and it seems to be mixing nicely. It's nice and warm, but you do get some gases building up, so occasionally you do have to vent it. So just make sure nothing's out the lid, vent it, and if I hold that up to the light, you can see there's no powder left, so that's well mixed. This method of kicking around the garage in a sealed container, in my opinion, probably the safest, easiest way of doing it. There's no drills, which have caused accidents in the past. It's nice and sealed. There's nothing going to come out of it, and more than anything, it's less energetic than shaking it.